Well, we're actually at a point where we're undertaking a major refurbishment and modernisation of the building. So the kind of things that we're putting in place range from the LED light panels that you can see in the rooms to waterless urinals and all kinds of small measures in between. We've changed the flushes to be 4 and 3 litre flushes rather than 6 and 3 litre flushes. So small retrofit measures that we think over a period of time are going to start making a big difference. Not particularly. That's been the fun thing really about it, is that the sustainable methods and the new technologies are becoming more and more accessible and more affordable. So there's no excuse for us really. We've got the money to spend on a decent, thorough refurbishment. So there's no reason for us not to choose these new technologies and these new methods. There haven't been major obstacles. No. I've had informal discussions with 1 or 2 people from the council, but the work itself is all self-funded and it's all been scheduled and commissioned by myself. So my history is in builders merchanting and plumbers merchanting, so I've trained hands-on with a lot of the technologies that I'm using in the centre now. So it's my own sort of first-hand experience of it that has allowed me to draw up the schedules for the building, yeah. I have indeed, yeah, I have. I've been interested in sustainable practices, sustainable living for a number of years, and I practice it in my own life. I grow some of my own fruit and vegetables. I use a green cone at home. What we can't recycle through our domestic collections, we take to a place that can. We buy local. We buy British. So it's something I have as a kind of a personal agenda as well. And it was just lucky coincidence that I was able to bring that interest and my own thoughts and ideas to this job. It was a perfect marriage, really. Yeah, so the Brighthelms, I've been here for just over a year, and on my appointment it was made very clear to me by the director and the trustees that it was part of their mission as a group of trustees to become more sustainable, to deploy better practices in terms of the environment, and to take any measures sort of manageable and necessary, so that we could hopefully one day become a beacon for sustainable business practice and sustainable running of a building of this nature. Yeah, I think the key element is to be able to put in these measures without people noticing the difference and without it compromising the service you offer them. So the comments we've had have been about how impressed people are that we have motion activated lighting in the communal areas, and how they notice that the urinals are waterless, and is that strange, is that I've never seen that before. But all the comments have been along those lines, sort of how interesting, I didn't know this was available, and I certainly didn't know a place like this could afford it these days. So yeah, the feedback's been really, really positive, and it also gives us an opportunity to engage with our customers on a different level, as opposed to just saying, hello, here's your room key, hope you enjoy your time. We're able to publicise the fact that we're doing these because they're noticing it themselves. I think so, I hope so. I know I do. I know when I go to a cafe or restaurant or a hotel or somewhere new, and they're publicising and marketing these aspects of the business to me. If it's a number of things that impress me and a number of things that I agree with, then of course I'm going to leave with a much better impression of that place. So I'm bringing my own experience of a customer into Brighthelm and hoping that our customers see these things the same as I do when I'm a customer elsewhere. Do you want me to be entirely honest? I believe that living and operating sustainably is a very attractive tool for lots of different organisations to use, and where I believe that people such as the Green Party actually do, practice what they preach and kind of try and live what they speak, I do believe that you cannot categorise an entire city or town or even neighbourhood based on initiatives started by a small group of people. You're still going to have a majority of people that need persuading, convincing, or maybe led in a certain direction. I think we're still in the very, very early stages of becoming a more sustainable town and a town that sort of leads by example. I think we'd be naive to say that we're really anywhere into that journey when I think we're only still very much at the very beginning. Yeah. I would go back to the early 80s and I would speak to the designers and the planners that are involved in this building that did a wonderful job for the time, and try and pass on some of the lessons that we've got now. And like I say, it's only now that the technologies that we're using are becoming widely available and easily accessible. But trying to retrofit in a building like this that was built with no consideration for the types of things that we're trying to do is very difficult. And I just wish the message was out there sooner. I suppose if I could do one thing differently, it would be just make us zero waste, find some way of eradicating every ounce of waste that we create, because I think that's absolutely key. And I think the proof is there that there are ways of becoming zero waste, and I just would really like the help in enabling us to get there to that point. Brighthelm has a great number of restrictions based on it in terms of what we can do. Our auditorium, the old white part of the building that's joined to the more modern concrete part of the building, is protected to an astonishing degree. We can't touch it in any way, shape or form that's going to affect the appearance of it. And so there may be measures that we could put in place to make the auditorium, which is an enormous space, much more easy to heat, cost effective, better insulated in terms of sound and heat. But legislation will stop us probably from taking any measures. If, at the very least, 95% of affordable measures, it probably actually stops us taking any measures. Yeah. I am optimistic. I'm always optimistic, because if you weren't optimistic about the state of the environment and the world, there'd be no point in doing what you do, trying to do what you do to help it. So I am optimistic, and I will always remain optimistic. And I think there are examples from around the UK and around the world where practices are being put in place and are really working for the communities that they're serving. Yeah.